And we're back again at the Roje Roundtable. I'm joined by contributing critic Jesse Oxfeld and NBC4 in the Wings critic Rob Kahn. Rob, Jesse, thank you so much for being with me.
Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for having me back.
All right, we got a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. First off, few Broadway openings in the last month: Spring Awakening, Old Times, and Fool for Love. We're going to start with Spring Awakening. Jesse, I'm going to you. What'd you think?
I love the show. I loved it when I first saw it at the Atlantic like 9 years ago. I loved it when I saw it again on Broadway, and I liked it very much this time. Lots of people are really loving it, and it didn't quite land for me, I think, the way it did the first time. It made me realize how great Michael Myers' original staging was, and this disconnect between the German teenagers and then sort of the rock stars, and how well that all worked together. I want to make clear, I think this signing stuff, this is sort of a bilingual, for lack of a better term, production from Deaf West. With American Sign Language and English. And that, it sort of serves that same purpose, things they can't articulate, that they articulate in song. A lot of the characters are either played by a deaf actor and then mirrored by like a singer who sings some of these parts, or in some cases vice versa. That part I thought worked effectively. It just overall didn't have quite the magic I thought that the original staging did.
Two new plays that opened last month, Old Times and Fool for Love. What do we think of these productions? A little different than our Spring Awakening musical. Rob.
Well, I have to tell you, I really loved Fool for Love. Sam Rockwell, just like one of these incredibly flexible actors, right? He can be the leading man, he can be the supporting role. Surprisingly physical performance, wasn't quite prepared for all the lassoing he was doing.
Lasso.
And I have been trying to talk to people who've attended other performances to get a sense. He made all but one of the tosses that he did during the performance that I was at, and it very well could have been one he intended to miss. I've been trying to get a sense.
What do any of us know about lassoing? I mean, it seems to me it was a big lasso.
I'm going to believe it no
on a
matter what
small
they're doing.
chair. No. I'm saying it's a big lasso on a small chair that's not moving. If you're going to lasso at all, that has to be a fairly straightforward lassoing situation.
He lassos her.
He does.
Correct? She's kind of a moving target.
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah, she's not a chair.
Well, by that point,
and by she, we mean Tony Award winner Nina Arianda.
Not a chair.
Right, not
Arianda,
a chair.
Not a chair. That's a pull quote for you. So. Yeah. So really, Sam Rockwell was the most stunning element of that. That said, Nina Arianda, Lady in Red, and she puts that dress on in 10 seconds, rolls it right on up. She was more of a question mark for me because she's so fiery and tempestuous, and Sam Shepard is so economical, and I had no problem at all.
It was one of the two basically inscrutable, love triangle plays that we've seen over the last month. It was the more scrutable of the two.
It was the more scrutable of the two.
Right.
There's another poll quote.
Okay.
The more scrutable of the two.
So Old Times,
right.
The Roundabout production, Clive
the
Owen.
Less scrutable is
the less scrutable, and I'm not going to blame that on this production. I'm going to blame that on Pinter.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. As we were talking about earlier, the show begins in a very jarring fashion. There's flashing lights. There's some very loud noises. Do not be talking to anybody when this show starts. It's going to rip you right. It rips you right out of wherever your mind is, puts you right on stage. You realize you're not quite dealing with a grounded reality. And in case the noise and the lights aren't enough, you've got this set, the focal point of which is this massive iceberg in the back, which doubles as a shower, and then you've got the backdrop, which looks like.
Doesn't.
Well, it's true. You've got this backdrop that looks like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with the the stars, and it's clearly not. It's clearly not meant to be occurring on any plane that we are sitting on.
So speaking of late playwrights who we're going to revere, who we definitely know are not around anymore.
That's a heck of a segue, by the way.
That's
Speaking
good.
Of late playwrights.
I don't know. All right. Speaking of late playwrights, it's the centennial of Arthur Miller, of our late great American playwright Arthur Miller. He would have been 100 on October 17th. So happy pre-birthday, Arthur Miller, just to start there. Do you think I've segued far enough? I feel like at any moment something's going to come crashing down.
I'm sure Arthur's very happy to get
no
all of
one's
this.
Right. No one's happy at the moment. Okay. And I want to talk about Miller's enduring legacy and what you think that is through some of his most famous plays. I'm going to go to you, Jesse. Maybe we'll talk a little Death of a Salesman and a little View from the Bridge.
Of course, Death of a Salesman is arguably like the iconic 20th century American play. I mean, right? Maybe Virginia Woolf. Up there. And it's certainly the classic American assimilation play. That's very much about an assimilating Jewish family and very much in a New Yorkie place, very much in a milieu that is recognizable to all of us, and probably just, previous generations of our family, whether or not we had grandfathers walking in front of driving their cars into cars and things like that. Yeah. And what's interesting now is there's this revival of Death of a Salesman in Yiddish being presented by the New Yiddish Theater.
And then later this season we have a revival production of A View from the Bridge coming from London's Young Vic. Two other Arthur Miller productions I want to make people aware of is The Crucible, that will be coming later this season as well, back to Broadway, again directed by Ivo Van Hove. At Signature will be Incident at Vichy, starring Richard Thomas, who is on this episode. So that's something to look out for too.